President Trump is promising major revelations in tonight's address.
It doesn't get bigger because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country.
Sources familiar with the matter tell CBS News that Trump will raise allegations that China compromised U.S. voter data and evidence that the CIA withheld details from Trump during his first term.
We will never give up.
By the way, just complete nut house over here, okay? It's just made up. You're making this stuff up. I don't know how else to explain it to you, okay? Are foreign countries trying to interfere in our elections? I'm certain that they are, whether it be Russia or Israel that gets to do it basically legally and above board for some weird fucking reason, or China, or, I mean, definitely not Venezuela. That one is really silly. But like foreign countries try to meddle in our elections, it makes sense, okay? We are the most powerful country on the planet. We are the hegemonic superpower. Of course, foreign adversaries are going to try to interfere in our elections. The problem is, at least for Donald Trump, there is no evidence that that meddling has been successful. It has not been able to undermine the American election integrity. What are you talking about? We do it to them. They try to do it to us. But what you have to look at is the outcome. You have to look at what the actual impact is. You can't just be like, oh, well, they tried to do it, so I guess, the elections were stolen. First of all, every American election is technically stolen because we can sell our American elections. All of our politicians are bought and sold. Shouts out to Citizens United. There's one happening right now in Michigan that we're paying close attention to. Israel and numerous other corporate entities are trying to buy that seat for Haley Stevens, literally in broad daylight. It is a theft that's taking place. It is undermining the democratic process. It's subverting democracy in real time. So the reality of the matter is, if we want to get truly theoretical about this, if we want to get truly theoretical, if we want to look at the actual situation, all of the elections are stolen because you can buy them. Okay, you can buy them. You can buy elections. But if we're looking at the normal process, if we're looking at like voters, who they voted for, what kind of rigging took place, American elections have fairly high levels of integrity year after year. Millions of dollars are poured into studying these results to try to identify what kind of voter fraud is taking place, what kind of engineering is taking place behind closed doors. Donald Trump has spent a good deal of time and effort trying to prove that American elections were stolen from him in 2020. And all of those initiatives have failed because for all of our faults and all of our failures, the American election system is like fairly good. Doesn't matter if it's a Republican winning, doesn't matter if it's a Democrat winning. It's fairly, it has high levels of integrity. It's probably one of the last remaining resilient aspects of the theoretical American democracy that has never been truly achieved. Okay, fairly good is debatable. No, it is. It is. And it's very stupid to dispute that. I hate this argument. We can have a conversation about like how free can your elections be or how fair can your elections be if moneyed interests always win. But that's a totally separate story. As far as like you put your name on a ballot and you vote for a candidate and then that candidate wins because they tabulate the results and it turns out the candidate you voted for got more votes than the other candidate. On that part, the American election system is absolutely designed in a way that has higher levels of integrity than most other countries. I will stand by that. It's complex. It's complicated. There's numerous issues leading up to like who you get to vote for. There's a lot of people who try to dupe you, and states have their own processes, which is also a little bit frustrating, but probably better than to give the keys of the castle to Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, the American elections, with some notable exceptions like 2000, are fairly reliable. If you're talking about the structural issues like the Electoral College, then I'm with you. But if you're talking about you cast your ballot and then it's tabulated and then the guy who got more votes wins, with the exception of the 2000 election, it's a fairly reliable process. One of the best in the world, let's be real. 2000 was stolen, though. George W. Bush absolutely stole that election. But it's neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about, okay? Yes, the procedural integrity of the American electoral system is very reliable and very strong. One of the best. But of course, Donald Trump is still, because he's such a petty little petulant child, man-child, narcissistic tyrant, a despot, he has to fucking constantly act as though the elections are the 2020 election was stolen from him.
We will never concede.
Trump has long claimed without proof that the 2020 presidential election was rigged. But in 2021, the U.S. intelligence community assessed with high confidence that China did not try to interfere with or influence the outcome of the election. On Wednesday,
who won the 2020 election?
I'm not going to do this with you.
Isn't it humiliating to be unable to answer?
Also, to say that China wanted Trump over Biden or Biden over Trump is really stupid, because both candidates at the time were unbelievably anti-China. Like, there was functionally no difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And now I would go so far as say Trump has unironically become a better president, a better American president by Chinese needs. Like, if we're just looking at a president for China and Chinese interests, then Donald Trump is the greatest president of all time for China. That's why Chinese netizens call him Donald Trump, the great nation builder for China. And look, I want America to do well, and I want America to do right by Americans, and I want America to do right by the rest of the world. But let's be real. If you were not an American citizen at all, and maybe even hated America for all of the pain that it's dealt all around the world, you're probably looking at Donald Trump and going, look, he's a fucking asshole, but he is really diminishing America's force projection capabilities. He's really diminishing America's status as the hegemonic superpower around the world. It's probably pretty great if you are excited about the downfall of America. I mean, look, more people around the world now favor China over the U.S., Pew study suggests. Why would they hate this? Why would they hate this? Donald Trump has destroyed the goodwill that America built around the world with its soft power initiatives, with its Marshall Plan, while it was simultaneously destroying the planet, ironically enough, while we were, on the one hand, destroying the planet and destroying the integrity of other countries and their sovereignty, constantly waging war. We were also giving a lot of money to a lot of people while installing fascist puppet dictatorships all around the world. But like, we were doing all that when we had Hollywood. And that obviously played a role in the way that people saw America as a force for good. Donald Trump has destroyed that, especially with the U.S. aid cuts and numerous other initiatives, like specifically going after America's pivotal allies, the vassalized European states. And now China, by the very nature of not being America, is actually gaining favor all around the world. U.S. has fallen behind China in public opinion across 20 countries, percentage each year with a favorable opinion. And it's not like China's doing a tremendous amount of work to get to this status. A big part of the reason is because they see China as a rising power and not doing the things that America did to rise to power, and what America did to continue carrying on its power all around, continuing to carry on its domination all around the world. That is literally why people are looking at China more favorably, because they're like, okay, they just make the toys and the components that we need, and they don't really do much else. It's awesome. They're stable, as opposed to America that yields instability. After a decade of creating chaos and instability around the world, of course, people are going to inevitably point the finger of blame at you. They're going to start to change their mindset on what your position as the hegemonic superpower actually means for the rest of the world.
Answer this question. To have to indulge the president's delusions.
Democrats grilled the president's nominee for Director of National Intelligence, Jay Clayton, about the race during his confirmation hearing. Clayton stopped short of acknowledging Biden won.
Senator, I'm not an election denier. Joe Biden was certified as the president of the United States.
Vice President J.D. Vance said the administration will accept the results of the upcoming mid.
Yeah, that's such a funny and such a strange cop-out answer, too. Oh, he was certified as the president. Okay, did he win the election, or was the election stolen and then the certification process took place? Like, just say he won the election. Why? How is this a difficult answer, man? I don't understand it. It's not that difficult. You're a fucking adult. Everyone's a goddamn adult. This is what's so annoying to me. Okay? What's so annoying to me about this entire process is they know the truth. These people know better. Okay? They know better. They know better. They know exactly what's going on. It's another thing that annoys me about like the Israel situation, right? Like, people know what the fuck is happening and how untenable this is. And yet they're just fearful. They're fearful of moneyed interest coming in and, like, I don't know, ruining their reelection chances potentially. But like, they have to lie. They have to lie. And in this case, he has to sit there. He has to sit there and act as though there's any credibility to the notion that Donald Trump actually won the 2020 election, but it was stolen from him. Why does he have to do that? Because these guys are not getting appointed to these seats of power for competency. They're getting appointed for loyalty. Loyalty to Donald Trump, no matter how silly those demands may be.
Garrett.
Caroline, welcome back.
Good to see you.
Likewise. So to the degree that this speech tonight is about elections past, not elections upcoming, the 2020 election has had dozens of recounts,
White House previews President Trump's national address on election integrity. Oh, my fucking Lord. This shit. Bro, what are we going to do, man? What are we going to do? Oh, my God. By the way, this is yet another clear-cut example that if, like, voting was irrelevant and if elections were irrelevant, if voting was irrelevant, and if there was, like, no way that you could implement any change whatsoever through the electoral process, these guys wouldn't be taking it away, okay? This is a fundamental principle that Black Americans understand. They had to fucking fight super hard to get that right, okay? People died for that shit. Obviously, the system is designed in this unbelievably distorted way where moneyed interest always wins out. Here we go, libbing out again. Dude, come on. Why? Okay, answer my fucking question. Answer my question. If your vote didn't matter at all, why would they, one, choose to rig the system to begin with? And two, why would they be actively working to undermine the process? I'm not saying we are going to have a revolution, a socialist revolution by voting, okay? Oh, vote extra hard, vote at the ballot box. But to just cast it all aside, to act as though there is no change that can come through this process as it still exists is insane, okay? Had two Brits LARPing as Americans crying to me about how elections are pointless, that the system is too broken to fix and we just need to tear it all down. It's only one aspect of a multifaceted approach. I'm not saying stop doing direct action, stop organizing outside of the electoral system. It's just one part of it, okay? It's one part of it. It's one part of a much larger battle, a much larger and much longer struggle. Motherfuckers here go vote and instantly do this meme. Yes, I know. It's so goddamn annoying. It's so goddamn annoying that people think like this is what I'm saying, okay? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm implying, that like, just vote, shut the fuck up, and don't do anything else, okay? Do not do anything else. Look, man, the reality of the matter is our enemies, our class enemies, our enemies in positions of power, our enemies that own and have consolidated tremendous amounts of wealth and power understand the system better than you do, better than we do, okay? That's why they are dumping boatloads of money in the Abdul al-Sayed race, for example. They recognize how important it is to make sure that that seat, a Senate seat, the upper chamber, is not lost to the democratic process. Okay? They recognize that. You might not, but they recognize it. And that's why they always win. Okay? That's why they always win. They're not wasting $50 million on that fucking seat. You think rich people throw their money away like that? That's not how they got rich. They know. I know that people think like, oh, who gives a shit? It's electoralism, it's bourgeois democracy, but like, you just don't understand. You unfortunately do not recognize the severity. Voting is how the system sustains its legitimacy. Yes, but also at the same time, there are small changes that can lead to massively consequential differences in the lives of tens of millions of people or hundreds of millions of people all around the world. Tens of millions of people in America, hundreds of millions of people in America, or even a billion people. Okay? it still matters. That's why I always say it's the least consequential, most impactful thing you can do.